Hi, I'm Sonia, and welcome to my channel, Sonia on Being 60. Today we're going to make a low-carb version of the classic apple pie. Instead of using apples, we are going to be using the chayote. Now, a chayote is a tropical squash, and it has its origins in Mexico. What I'm going to do with this is I will peel the squash, and then I will boil it because it's very, very hard. So, and we want to get it nice and soft to be kind of that apple pie consistency. Now, when I'm peeling this, I will be wearing some latex gloves because when you peel it, it can be a little bit sticky and you really don't want to have that on your hands. Okay, I have peeled all the squash, and you can see there's a little bit of a pit inside. It's like a core. So I just slice around that, and I'm slicing them, you know, just into nice little pieces, just like you would for an apple pie. So now they're all sliced up and they're ready just to go into a pot. I'll put some water in to cover, and I will boil them for about 10 minutes. Now, in case you're wondering what the taste of the chayote is, online when I was researching the chayote and what it was and everything, you know, people were saying it tastes kind of like cucumber. I don't know where that cucumber taste comes from. Very crunchy. It's very, very, very mild. It has a pleasant taste. I'm not really quite sure what it tastes like. I can't really identify that taste, but it's actually quite delicious. And like I say, it'll get nice and softened up once it's been boiling about 10 minutes. All right, the chayote is now nice and soft, and it took about 15 minutes for it to get really nice and soft. And tasting it, it's even a blander taste when it's been boiled like that. Now what happens is I put it back in the pot, and I will add the sugar, the sweetener, and I'm using Sucrin Gold. I really like this as a, you know, kind of a brown sugar substitute. I find it, it smells like brown sugar and it kind of looks like brown sugar. I also have some lemon juice that I'll be adding, and then I have the spices. Now, I'm using here a mix of cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. You can use whatever spices you would normally use when you make an apple pie. The choice is yours. And I also have some xanthan gum, just a half a teaspoon. And the xanthan gum is going to thicken up the liquid that is going to result once you add in the sugar and the lemon juice. I'll also add in some vanilla. I have some apple extract. I'm not a fan though. I've used this before, and I really don't like the taste of it. It's an option if you wanted to add it, but I find with the spices and, you know, with this chayote, you really do get a really nice tasting filling. And that will just go and cook on the stovetop for a couple of minutes. Chayote now has just been on medium heat for about 2 minutes. I've added in all the spices, and now I'm just letting it cool. While that's cooling, I'm going to go ahead and make my pie crust. And for the pie crust, I have a mixture of almond flour, coconut flour, there's some lemon zest in here, and some salt. We have 1 egg, we have some apple cider vinegar, and we have some butter and cream cheese. The first thing I'll do is I'll pulse this in the food processor, just a few pulses just so everything gets incorporated. Then I'll add the butter and the cream cheese, a few pulses again, and then the egg and the cider vinegar. And I just pulse to combine. So I've just finished adding the butter and the cream cheese, and you know, we have like some little pea-size chunks in here, and that's kind of the consistency that I'm looking for. Now I'll put in the egg and the cider vinegar. I just want to mention too, before I forget again, the recipes will be linked below. And there we have our dough. Now I'm going to just wrap it in saran wrap, and I'm going to put it in the fridge just for about a half an hour. It can be left longer if you weren't wanting to use it right away, but at least a half an hour just so that it gets chilled. So now I'm ready to put everything together and bake it. And I just made a single pie crust because I didn't want to make a big pie. So I'm just using a small pie plate that I have. What I did, I wanted to see how this would work. I have my tortilla press right here. So I took, half of the dough, and it might have been a little bit too much actually. And I just flattened it, and I put a piece of wax paper on. I put down my top, and then I just pressed. And what this does is it actually gets the dough to be like totally even consistency. And it'll work for the small pie, but it wouldn't necessarily work if I was using, a regular kind of pie plate. But as I mentioned, I'm just wanting to make a small pie today, so thought I would try this, and voila, it's nice and easy. So I'm just going to put everything together, and I'll show you what the chayote looks like now once I get the crust into the pie plate. So here's what the chayote looks like now, all covered with the brown sugar on the spices. I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste test, just curious. Super soft. It's really delicious. Like yum. I mean, it's what a great substitute for apples. And just to compare kind of carby wise, I will also figure out the macros for everything and let you know what those macros are. But when you're looking at a chayote, so one chayote has 6 grams of carbs in it, and an apple has 14. So right there, you're saving quite a few carbs. And of course, the crust will be very low carb. But I will calculate those macros and let you know what they are. So now I'm just going to fill my pie, put the chocolate crust on, put it in the oven, and then I'll be back to show you what it looks like. So here's our apple pie. It's come out of the oven and it's been cooling for a while. I'll let it cool just a little longer before I take a slice up. Before I cut. Let's try now to cut it. Quite often, the first piece, right, is never really that great. We'll just try to take a little piece out of here. My little, sure about this. Here we go. Yeah, the next pieces will be better. Oh, it's still a little warm in there. Just but you can see it's nice and lovely inside. Lots of apple. Now I'm just gonna take a little taste. Oh no, the chayote is really good with all the the lovely apple pie spices. I mean, for a low carb crust, this one is actually, I think, pretty good. It does taste quite lovely. There you have it. Apple pie, low carbified.